This is a really short video on starting your own cotton seeds. I made a video on just having a few things together to spin cotton and make items out of cotton. This is a stopwatch case that I'm working on a small Ojibwe bead loom that was in that other video. And even though it's June, which is very late to be starting cotton seeds in Massachusetts, I went ahead, excuse me, last week and started some cotton seeds. Just got inspired. And you see them in a tray here with some other little seedlings and an African violet. But I started these seeds are older. I just had them stored, and I planted them on June 13th. Today is June 18th, so 5 days ago actually, and the first two have popped up. Now there's one back in the corner there and one right there, and those two are both actually I think they're grown by an organic farmer. It's called Earlene's Green cotton. And then I have, I started 6 of those, 7 of the white, and I think 6 of brown. And you can see that they have the tufts of cotton around the seeds. But I think that's really a good sign that in just 5 days that Earlene's Green popped up, because I had bought the seed at least a couple of years ago and just had it stored. To let you know, I recycle tags. That's why some of them are yellowed, and I use pencil. I erase and rewrite. These are little medicine cups that you buy very inexpensively in a medical supply store. You use a craft knife to cut like a cross at the bottom. You really crack the bottom so that they can drain or soak up water. And I'll show you the little seedling. The soil mix that I use, I usually make my own, which is like 1/3 peat, 1/3 perlite, and 1/3 it's like a soilless mix. It's probably just more peat and perlite, but I kind of dressed it up a little bit to make it the drainage level that I like it. But this potting soil, I happen to run out of all of that and pick this up at Stop and Shop. So this is just a basic houseplant potting soil that I'm starting them in. I, like I said, put a hole in the bottom of the cup. Cotton does not really need to be buried in the soil to germinate. You can almost leave it on the top. I push it down a little bit, and then just keep these damp for, it looks like, about 5 days when the first ones start to pop up. And they're kind of a pretty plant. They have interesting shaped leaves, and so even though this is June, they have a very long growing season before they blossom. So it'll be like September or October before, if these do well in my summer, it'll be September, October, November before they would be blooming, and of course it'll be way too cold outside for then. So this is going to be kind of a project of seeing what do I do with the cotton plants if I get them through the summer. But that's what they look like now. Very easy to start from seed. When they get to be about 6 inches tall, you can start hardening them off. If you were doing this, I would normally start them in like December. And when they get to be about 6 inches tall, you put them in shade outdoors around May up here, depending on your zone. But up here it's the middle of May. The plants would go outdoors for a couple hours at a time in the shade for a week. Sometimes I would do that for 2 weeks, depending on the plants. Then they come back in, and little by little I harden them off. until they're ready to be outside by themselves, you know, in all temperatures. And they would be, because they're going to grow into a bush, as they get bigger, I would put them in a larger and larger pot, but I would only do it when they outgrow the pot they're in. So that would get anyone started on starting cotton from seed. You can check the USDA website. They have a whole plant catalog section and plant identification, and you just put in white cotton, or it'll come up and it'll tell you where it's grown in the United States. It'll tell you what zone you're in, I believe, and it should tell you how many days to germination and how many days to blooming, and that's how you'll know whether or not you can grow cotton in your area. When I looked at that map recently, I'm in Massachusetts, and all of Massachusetts is shown on that map, which surprises me because we have a short growing season. But it is on there, so people are growing it in Massachusetts, and we'll see how mine do, even though they're about 6 months late.